Now starts with breaking news.
Good afternoon. This is case number 2023 CR 407, State versus Chad Doorman.
Her stepfather is killing everyone in her family.
I ain't gonna hurt you. I ain't gonna hurt nobody.
He was their guardian, and he executed them in cold blood.
"33-year-old Chad Doorman will now spend the rest of his life behind bars after pleading guilty to the aggravated murders of his 3 sons in June of last year. Just days before Father's Day, the Claremont County man got home from work early, then carried a Bible around his home and muttered to himself, "Chad knows what's right."
Not long after prosecutors say Doorman got his gun and killed the 3 boys, Clayton, Hunter, and Chase, execution style, at their home in Madison Township. After more than a year of court proceedings, his defense team approached prosecutors with a plea deal that was accepted today in Batavia.
And that's where Jessica Schmidt and Ken Brown are live for us right now after sitting through today's sentencing. An emotional day for many inside that courtroom, I know.
Yeah, and one of the biggest takeaways today, of course, Megan, Rob, was that emotion. But it's also the fact that because of this plea deal, the death penalty is now off the table in this case. And as you mentioned, that means that Chad Doorman is going to spend the rest of his life in prison without the possibility of parole. We did hear some pretty disturbing details from prosecutors in court today as well, Ken. Some of them we had heard before, others we had not, but horrific all around. That's what they've been saying.
Yeah, and you talk about that emotion. We did see some emotion on Chad Doorman today for the first time since his arraignment. Take a look inside the courtroom earlier today as Chad Doorman gets teary-eyed. His victim impact statements from his former stepdaughter and his now ex-wife were read aloud in the courtroom. He was stoic the rest of the time, but as these were being read, showing some emotion in this case. And take a listen to some of the words that were written by his ex-wife and read aloud in court.
I ask myself how a mother is supposed to carry on a life as a mom with 1 child left here on earth and 3 gone forever. I struggle every day with the will to get up or give up.
Yeah, powerful words there read aloud in the courtroom today. So we want to break down the charges that Chad Doorman did plead guilty to. 3 counts of aggravated murder, of course, each of those counts for his 3 sons, Clayton, Hunter, and Chase. He also pled guilty to 2 charges of felonious assault. That's because from the very beginning, investigators have said that his now ex-wife, Laura Doorman, as well as his now former stepdaughter, were also injured that day while they were fighting to try to save those 3 little boys. Now, we did catch up with the Claremont County prosecutor after that hearing today. And he spoke just a little bit about how much this case has deeply impacted the Claremont County community.
These are grown, strong adults. These are dispatchers. These are firefighters. These are police officers who all cry. It is, again, agony is the best phrase I can come up with, the best word I can use. And the public is entitled to see what happened here, and they're going to see it.
Heard him there talking specifically about the public and that they deserve to see this. We know a lot of people, not just in Claremont County, across the country, have been very invested in this case. Well, we learned today they are actually going to have a press conference on Monday afternoon where prosecutors and investigators are expected to release a lot more information, 911 calls, other details, because again, they believe that the public deserves to know exactly what unfolded that day in June of 2023.
And you heard him talk about the impact of what's happened here on police officers, prosecutors, on the Doorman family. We've been backseat spectators to this. We haven't really seen the things that the prosecutors have seen, that the police officers have seen, that the Doormans, the surviving Doormans, had to experience in this. And sitting here, it's still gut-wrenching. I mean, that's really the best word you can use to describe what's been said in the courtroom. And it's just words that we're talking about here. But what happened in Monroe Township, very real. And we're going to get, like you said, an inside look coming up here on Monday.
Yeah, and you want to stay with us, too, because on Fox 19 now at 6, we are going to dig even deeper into this. We're going to share part of a statement that Laura Doorman shared with the media today. It's her reaction, her response to this plea deal taking place. And we'll also be speaking with a legal analyst a little bit more about just the plea deal in general and the death penalty aspect of this, because we know a lot of people in the community have had questions about that. For now, we'll send it back to you. It's Jessica Schmidt alongside Ken Brown, photographer Tom. Back to you in the studio.
So we're going to get more information in that press conference that happens on Monday. My major question is, will we learn what police think was the motive behind this? That's the major question we don't have an answer to.
Well, one of the things that was brought up in court today was that serious mental illness motion that was filed by Chad Doerman's defense team. Now, that was rescinded. It was taken away with this plea deal, but they did make a point in court to talk about his mental state and possible mental illness, Jess.
Yeah, his defense team specifically did say in court today, Rob, that they believe that Chad Doorman had shown signs of mental illness far before this happened, and that was also asked to the prosecutor this afternoon as well, and he said he wanted to wait until Monday to address some of those questions. So while it's not completely clear what they will tell us about the motive, it does seem that they are going to go into some more detail about that. So we do hope that we will learn some more information on Monday.
All right, Jess and Ken, live from Batavia, thank you very much.
You can see the